Well, can't wait to read those comments after I post this video. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of hate for taking a look at an Apple product. But regardless, let's do this. What's up everyone, Eber here with HardwareCanucks, and this is the 9.7-inch iPad Pro. Yes, it is an Apple product and not some gaming keyboard or a gaming laptop, but a device that happens to be one of my favorite pieces of tech here in the office because I use it pretty much every day to get some work done. If I'm here or if I'm outside in a coffee shop, normally take this with me to write scripts, watch YouTube videos, and catch up on TV shows and stuff like that. And of course, it's a great productivity device for me personally because it's got a great portable form factor, the battery life is insanely good, and the software experience is respectable. So allow me to walk you through my experience using the iPad Pro for the past year or so, right after a message from our sponsor.
It's time to play with light with Fanatec's digital RGB starter kit that includes 2 LED strips and all the appropriate cables. The main hub is magnetic, Velcro tape is available with 3 digital channels for LED strips or Halo Slux fan frames that display a ton of lighting effects and they're absolutely gorgeous. Check out the kit down below.
Alright, so before I get into the hardware and software experience, I want to get something off my shoulders. I didn't pay full price for this tablet. In fact, I wouldn't even consider spending $700 and above for a tablet because that would sort of get into the Ultrabook category or more or less into the notebook category. I picked this up for $500 Canadian here on Kijiji, which is the Canadian version of Craigslist. It was a pretty good deal. The tablet was in pristine condition. It was basically brand new, and so I picked it up right away, and I haven't turned back at that decision because this guy has held up really well for the past year or so, and I've been enjoying my time using the iPad Pro. Now I've done a few things to add a little bit of protection to this device. First up, I've installed a skin to prevent scratches at the back, and I've also added a screen protector at the front to prevent unnecessary scratches or even the slightest damage, because believe it or not, the resale value for Apple products is a lot higher than Android tablets and smartphones. So if I decide to sell this tablet later on, I'd get a pretty good price for it. So if it's in pristine condition, the better. The build quality of the iPad Pro is just amazing. Apple has managed to cram a high-resolution display along with a faster or fast enough processor, the logic board, the battery, and all the other internals into an aluminum unibody chassis that just weighs a pound. This thing is compact, the size is perfect for me, and it feels really good in the hand. And that's something that you can't necessarily find on an Android tablet. Now, given that Apple still dominates the tablet market share, regardless of the overall tablet sales declining from year to year, it kind of makes sense because people are on the lookout for devices that can run a full version of Windows or Mac OS in a relatively thin form factor that comes with all the features like better build quality, good battery life, better reliability. And that's something that you won't necessarily find on a tablet because while it is portable, you won't be able to run desktop class applications. But that's not the case for me because when I'm traveling, I normally carry my editing notebook with me that has the horsepower to render and edit videos. But if I want the portability to just edit scripts or watch YouTube videos or something like that, I think something like a tablet would make a lot more sense because I don't need all that rendering horsepower. One of the main selling features of this iPad Pro is the 9.7-inch Retina display with a resolution of 2048 by 1536. It is an IPS display, so color reproduction is excellent and the viewing angles are top-notch. The display goes as far as 500 nits, which is incredible considering the form factor, and it's almost close to what you would get with an Ultrabook. It is really bright enough so you wouldn't have a problem viewing content outdoors. Watching YouTube videos and TV shows on Netflix or even Amazon Prime has been a pleasant experience. I've even run into times where I would edit raw photos from my DSLR camera on the iPad Pro using Adobe Lightroom, and the experience is just amazing. The fact that you're getting a natural display without too much saturation like what you would get with AMOLED panels is so refreshing. And like I said, it is a pleasant experience. In fact, if you are thinking of picking up a tablet with a color accurate display, highly recommend picking up the iPad Pro because it supports a wider color gamut and you wouldn't have a problem editing photos, raw photos in particular, using apps like Adobe Lightroom or some other photo editing apps. Now, Apple has implemented something called True Tone that essentially uses 4 channel sensors to dynamically adjust the white balance to match the lighting around you for a more natural and immersive experience. For example, if you're using the tablet in a bright room setting where there's lots of natural light, just pick daylight as instance, the color temperature would be a lot more on the cooler side because the white walls and the white lighting would sort of reflect, and it would be a lot more easier to view content. Whereas if you switch to, say for example, a darker scene where you're in a situation where there are warmer lights, then the sensors would detect that light and it would shift the color temperature of the display to the warmer side. So it'll obviously reduce the strain on your eye. I love this feature because, I do stare at the screen pretty much most of the time for work and, of course, to consume content and stuff like that. So it reduces the stress on my eye, and it's really hard for me to go back or live without this feature because normally I do turn on night shift on both my smartphone and the iPad Pro, and having the True Tone display sort of kick in the background without having to worry about it, even at the night or in daylight, is just amazing. As for ports, well, don't expect too much. You're not going to get a full-size SD card reader or a full-size USB port. All you do get is a Lightning port, which you use to charge the device and, of course, connect other accessories. There are 4 speakers integrated in this tablet, so 2 on each side. It gives you a good stereo separation when listening to music and consuming content. They are really loud, especially coming from a tablet this size, and I don't think you would necessarily need a Bluetooth speaker to go along with the iPad Pro because they are really good. They do emphasize a lot on the higher ends, and you can definitely pick up the mid frequencies. They do lack proper bass response, but again, that is expected because after all, they are integrated speakers. So I would keep your expectations somewhat in the middle, not too high, but not too low again, because you will be impressed with the sound quality coming out of the iPad Pro, especially since it's got 4 speakers. Oh, I should also mention that there is a headphone jack. I'm so glad Apple hasn't decided to eliminate that port on the iPad Pro. What's even interesting is that the internal DAC is fantastic. I was easily able to drive my AKG K7Xs and my Sennheiser HD598s without a problem. Again, clean sound, so that's one of my favorite features. Or I guess it's a really welcoming addition. I'm glad that they haven't cheaped out on that part. So kudos to Apple for that. Quick mention on Touch ID. It's a simple and secure way of logging into the device. It's fast and it still works. What's even interesting is that this tablet actually does support Apple Pay. So if you do see yourselves using this device to pay for coffee at a coffee store that supports Apple Pay, well, there is that option, but you may look ridiculous doing that. So yeah, there's a 12 megapixel sensor at the back with an f2.2 aperture, and it can shoot video up to 4K at 30 frames per second and 1080p up to 120 frames per second. Now, that's just a little bit too overkill for a tablet because I don't see myself shooting video with a tablet, and I haven't with the iPad Pro because normally when I'm outdoors, I do carry my smartphone with me, so if I were to take pictures or shoot video, this is what I would normally use to do that. Not the tablet. I mean, it's great to shoot documents or something like that if you want to scan and sign certain documents. I think the rear camera comes in beneficial, but certainly not for taking pictures like portraits or just outdoor pics. I'm not that guy. Now, the front-facing camera can come in beneficial for Skype calls, so that's nice, but I certainly don't see myself, again, using the rear-facing camera for photography because, yeah, it just looks insane. And now onto the software experience. Apple has been constantly updating the iPad Pro since launch, and currently it's rocking iOS 11.3.1, which is the up-to-date version at the time of making this video. One of the major improvements to this OS is the addition of the dock. Kind of like what you'd get with macOS, but a mobile-friendly version. You can add your most frequently used apps onto the dock, which are permanent by the way, and your recently used apps are separated towards the right. When you're in full screen mode within an app, accessing the dock is just as simple as swiping from the bottom, and you can instantly switch apps right away, which is nice. The one thing that I did find annoying was the stupid animations while closing and launching a certain app. In my opinion, it's just too long. There is a quick and easy way to fix this. All you have to do is head over to Settings, then General, and within the Vision tab, look for Reduce Motion and enable that right away. The tablet just feels a lot more faster, so I'm definitely not turning off that feature. iOS 11 also brings in multitasking, which allows the user to work with 2 apps at the same time. It works pretty well for the majority of apps that I use, like Google Docs, YouTube, Safari, and a few more. Spotify is one exception, which I found to be really odd. Now, I'm not looking for advanced multitasking gestures on an iPad because, after all, this is an iPad and it's not a fully functioning computer, so you won't be able to run 4 different apps at the same time. But that doesn't stop me from using the tablet because all I need is being able to run Google Docs on one side and YouTube or Safari on the other, and that setup works for me really well. However, the lack of customizing the UI on iOS is its biggest drawback. I can't throw third-party launchers and customize or add widgets to make it look a little bit unique compared to other tablets. It's just a plain old look that comes with all these apps and the home screen, and there's no way to add widgets or something, which is a little bit disappointing. Whereas with Android, you can throw in custom launchers and make it your own or make it unique, and that's obviously the advantage of the Android ecosystem when compared to iOS. It's just simple and plain. I really wish if Apple could have taken advantage of the extra screen real estate that you get with an iPad, because again, you just get a bunch of apps on the home screen and that's pretty much it. So it's plain, it's simple, it looks kind of meh, so yeah. The last thing that I want to talk about is battery life, and it has just been incredible. The 9.7-inch iPad Pro features a 7300 mAh battery, which is almost 3 times the size of a smartphone, and that's expected given the form factor. This thing can last you for a week depending on usage, and the standby time is just phenomenal. My usage primarily involves editing scripts, consuming content, and browsing the web. Again, it's all about hardware and software optimization, and with Apple devices that seems to turn out really well because they design pretty much everything from ground up. So it makes a lot more sense, and having using this tablet for the past year or so, the battery life has held up really well. So to conclude, I really enjoyed my time using the 9.7-inch iPad Pro for the past year or so, and I still continue to love using this device because, from a productivity standpoint, it has come in really useful at times, because if I were to go to a coffee store, this is the tablet that comes with me, because I write scripts, I watch content, and I do all kinds of stuff when I'm at the coffee store, when I'm outdoors. Just if I want to get some work done, this is exactly what I take with me, because the size, it's just so portable, the battery life is just insanely good, and of course app stability. There are a variety of apps that you can take advantage of, not just Google Docs and YouTube, but if I were to DJ at an event or something like that, there are apps that work really well on the iPad Pro, and that's awesome. What's even interesting is that for accessories and stuff like that, you won't have to spend $100 extra to get a good keyboard, because I did end up picking up this cheap $30 keyboard from Logitech, and it comes with Bluetooth functionality. It pairs perfectly well with the iPad Pro, and the battery life on this can last for 2 years, which is kind of insane if you think about it. I haven't even thought about replacing the battery on this guy, and of course you get great tactile feedback on this keyboard, so that's awesome. So again, as I said, a portable setup for me, and that's what the 9.7-inch iPad Pro has been, and I really enjoyed my time using this device. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on the 9.7-inch iPad Pro. What do you guys think about it? I mean, of course, this is an Apple product, so I'm sure you have your own opinions. But regardless, I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'm Eber with HardwareCanucks. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.